Oh, um, so I'm down here in Virginia. Hold on a second. Oh, mm, mm. It's just as good down here as it does up there. I'm down here in Virginia. My dad needed me to visit my mom in the hospital while he was taking care of a lot of paperwork. I discussed the sort of very broad financial issues that we've been having. Not getting any better, but I'll leave that for another day because I don't think that it's really settled. So a lot of the details are just it might not even be relevant. So I'll just leave it once they're sort of been settled. But it's I think there is a way out. It might be a little bit expensive or a little bit nerve wracking, but I think that there's a way out, and it's not you know death is not involved. So or fraud or anything. This is totally above board. So anyway, today's my dad's birthday, uh, and he's 75. So he's not spring chicken himself, but it's funny that in the last few months I've come down here about 3 or 4 times, spent a couple weeks with him here and there each time. It's hard to be away from my wife and the animals for that long, but you got to do what you got to do. And so today, um, in the last few days, I've just been spending a lot of time with him because I don't know what's going to happen to him. He's getting old himself. He's got a lot of knee problems. Unfortunately, I'm starting to feel some knee problems myself. So I guess I got his knees. Um, and I kind of came to the realization that spending time with dad at this age is doing a lot like what my dad spending time with me as a young boy, particularly like under the age of 10, was for me. So, in a sense of like, I'm spending time with him, we're doing the things he wants to do largely. Uh, while I might be suggesting things, it's largely things that he likes rather than, let's do what I want to do. Um, there's things that where he gets to be, I don't know, I wouldn't say like the more dominant in the sense of like if um you choose something like if you're with somebody and you choose something that they might have a stronger interest in or actually might know a lot more about, you choose that thing, you kind of see them come alive a bit. It's kind of like when I went to a lot of horse shows with my wife. Obviously, I would not be at a horse show if I could help it, but uh, with her it's okay. I feel like I'm see the smile on her face and um, hear her explain things because honestly I don't really really care about the details. It's just fun to talk to her about things, and maybe I do have some curiosity about what's going on. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Why do they prance around in this direction and then totally go in another direction? Or what's that horse doing there? Why does he just stop on a dime like that? So I wouldn't really care otherwise, but it is fun to kind of participate with that, something like that. Now, with my dad, we do have a little bit more in common than I do with my wife in a sense. Like, I can watch baseball, and I know a deal about baseball, and we can just sit there and have it on. And he'll fall asleep half the time. That's fine. I can still watch the baseball, you know, or the basketball. I still like these things. And part of it is also is like hearing the same stories told over and over and over again. I've heard these stories my whole life. Not all of them are great. Um, and it's he likes telling them. He used to be a pilot, and he tells a lot of these stories about what it was like to be a pilot. And and for me, it's not just nodding and saying, it's cool, because that's a bit dismissive. You can sense it. But if you ask follow-up questions, they're so if you ask follow-up questions or you ask for information that maybe you already know, or you're not dying to know this information, it causes the other person to be very happy. So I've learned something about that, and I'm sure other people do that with me. I'm positive my wife does that with me. Um, uh, so some of it's watching, movies with him, doing stuff he likes. Tonight we're gonna go out to dinner, and I'm just gonna pick a dinner that he likes. We're gonna go to a Mexican restaurant, and right now he's out visiting mom at the I don't know, care home, whatever you would call it. Um, uh, he hasn't been out to see her in about a week, so I came down here to spend time with her, not just to be with her, but just also she needs to see somebody to stay motivated. And my dad's been sort of way deep in paperwork and doesn't have the energy to go all the way out there, so it's going to be, so I'm stepping up while he can't be there with her. So yeah, I think we're just gonna spend a little quiet evening, and we're gonna go out to dinner, but then we'll just come back and watch a little TV or whatever he wants to do. If he falls asleep on the couch, that's his prerogative. So on Tuesday, I have a job interview. I won't go into the details of the job, but it's not a job. If you said what's your ideal job, this wouldn't be it. It does seem interesting, and it does seem like it's going to be a very stable job in a sort of hectic, unstable environment known as the world economy at this point, because of all the inflation here in America and the war and um, uncertainty all over the place. So uh, one of the problems I have even thinking about this job is that I need this job. I've been unemployed for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, 4 months, and I need a job for my own sake, also for the bills, um, and so I have to sort of balance of like, yes, I want this job. I want to be very present in the interviewing process, and I kind of want to be engaging but not oppressive. So I just don't want to sound, let them know that I am interested in this, and I want to say all the right things. I don't want to sound desperate at the same time. So part of this is I just like I feel like I just need to focus on being calm, sort of project competence or a pleasant personality and give right answers. Maybe not like out of a textbook. Tell them things that they want to hear in a way that doesn't sound I'm spoon feeding them to. And so that includes a little bit of humor, interest in the interviewer, uh, him or herself, about the company and the position, and just tell them the things that they need to hear. So one of the problems I had with the last job interview, I did 2 interviews. This one I'm having on Tuesday is a follow-up interview. I think the first one was more of, is this guy crazy? Can he carry on a conversation? Does he sound like, he could possibly be a candidate? So it was only like a 20-minute conversation. So I got through that round. I don't know how far this is going to go, but it seems promising, and it does seem like there's possibilities for growth within the organization. So just don't get too. I'm trying to be positive, but not crazy. um, and so that's the thing, is that you kind of have to reel yourself in. And this is a little experiment I've been doing with myself for the last, I don't know, couple weeks, maybe even a little bit further, but it's more formal in my mind. Is that um, I've started letting go of this tight grip that I have on things. Now, it's not means like I'm giving up or I'm abandoning any care or any desire in the world. It's more of letting go of the illusion that I have a lot of control over things in the world. I suppose that is a little bit of a stoic attitude, but it's a little experiment that I'm trying to do. Is basically, you know, the type of people who have sort of a death grip on things because they don't want to let go of any control they have in the situation, or at least like illusion of control, where you a lot of things in life you have no control over. And not realizing that, I think, is a problem for a lot of people. And so, like, I realized that there's very little I can control. I can control, like, when I go to bed, when I eat, when, things that you actually do. But as far as external things like what people think of me, I mean, I know that's a function of how I behave towards them. But if you just um, how people behave towards me, there's very little I can do about that. That obviously that I give them feed, like, sort of feed into the way they do that. As far as the reaction, I can't do very much about. And so for me, it's about letting go of that illusion of control. So I still have to do things that I have to do. I have to do my duties. I'm just not trying to control everything. And I find that over the last week, where I've sort of just like let go and just let whatever forces of the world, if it's God or it's nature or there's some kind of like, um, ghost out there sort of doing anything, I'm just going to leave that up to him. Like, so far, when I've been doing that, I've been doing the things I mean to do. I didn't want to go visit my mom yesterday, not because of my mom, because there was a shitload of traffic. It took me about an hour, 45 minutes to get over there, which is only about 15 miles away, but there was so much nasty traffic yesterday. But I was like, I'm in the car. I have to do this. I came down to see her. I got there, and she fell asleep almost instantly. So I sat there for about an hour and a half, and she wouldn't even wake up when they were doing her vitals. So I was like, well, screw this, and I just went home from there. And so, and I didn't really have anything else to do, and I felt like I was doing my duty. I didn't get very much out of it, but I did get, that she got to see me that day. She got to see somebody, uh, and we didn't really talk very much, but she ended up doing, like, it was something. And I wouldn't say it's free because it did cost me time and gas, but in the grand scheme of things, of all the things she's done for me in my life, I think a very small uh, favor to return. So uh, part of this sort of letting go of type grip on reality. I have a little bit of notes here so I can stay on track. So if it looks like I'm reading, I am reading a little bit, but most of this is just sort of off the top of my head. It's just like cue cards. You don't want to read their whole speech on there. You just want to talk about this, right? Um, so um, part of this is I'm trying to find room in my life for things that make me happy. While I've been down here, I've been watching a little bit of movies with my dad, old movies from like the 40s. I love that, like Cary Grant and Burt Lancaster, and I think he was a bit later, but it's a lot of it's fun. These movies didn't really have a big agenda. The only agenda was to entertain you, to make you laugh, make you sad, make you sort of like life affirming things, depending on the nature of the movie. But and then watching baseball. Baseball is back in a warped form. The DH is evil. The DH is evil. It's not baseball, but it's better than sitting on the couch, picking my nose and watching Kelly Clarkson, like I was doing in the hospital, because there's nothing on in the middle of the afternoon other than that and reruns of Friends. I'm not a big fan of either one, but there's only so many times I can watch Friends without wanting to punch someone on screen. Um, and so a lot of this is finding room. It's like scheduling things in your life that are really important to you. So I've been sort of powering through uh, my blog. I have a blog. It's the links are in the description. I've been trying to keep at it. It's really hard because you have to be really motivated. In the last 2 or 3 months, I just haven't been motivated to do very much. I still am doing it, but it's not as easy as it once was. And having things that you accomplish, like, so I just finished Troilus and Cressida by Geoffrey Chaucer, and it's fun just to have finished it. I don't know that I would have read it if you described it to me. I am glad that I read it. Not my favorite thing in this great works of the Western world, but it's actually pretty good. And now I'm moving on to Francis Bacon. I actually have the book here. I have two copies of it. I have this book I got from an Oxfam shop in London um, for £3. And the thing is, like, it has like a um, little outline of it, right? That's really good for the blog because it kind of keeps your mind ordered. I love it when authors, or in this case an editor, kind of orders your thinking, because if you read the text, it's just that. It's not like anything with the story. It's him talking about the value of uh, different disciplines and learning. So anyway, that's what I've got next. I've sort of broken it up into smaller pieces. That way, it's easier to deal with. And so I've been working on that. The blog is a challenging hobby in the sense of, like, you have to keep a schedule. I've been doing posts every 4 days, which I've barely been able to tread water with. It's not a very productive hobby in the sense I don't make money off of it. I have ads on there. And I was a little bit iffy about ads because I find a lot of places, like, let's be obvious, like, there are places like Spark Notes, or it's called Schmoop. I kind of check out my competition. I don't even know that we're in direct competition. My blog is basically my notes, so I can go read them anywhere in the world that has internet connection. I can think about them. So I haven't really been able to monetize them. I've made $100 off of them, but that basically just pays for the hosting. I really haven't made that much any money, so to speak, off of it. Um, uh, so it was gratifying to get $100. I made $100 off of this. Holy crap! But I just can't see myself making any more than that. I do think that the real investment is sort of understanding the way the world works a little bit better, through philosophy, history, literature. See, the tea is not just a delicious drink; it also clears your throat. um, and so this vlog is also something that I've been trying to keep, like 2 or 3 videos a week. I sort of see this as not so much as something like, I'm not going to be an influencer. Look at me, I'm wearing this old ratty, band T-shirt and talking on the world's worst webcam. But I'm starting to see this as sort of like a series of notes to myself, or something that if my wife and I have kids, then we can point to them and say, hey, that's what I was thinking. That's what I looked like before I went bald or I went completely gray. There's a little bit of gray right here, a little bit in the beard, but and I just kind of think about this as, like, it's also sort of a talking therapy with myself. And, I actually find that sometimes lesser known blogs or vlogs that probably don't see the light of day, I actually like them. Because you get to know, if you have watched, I've done 20 odd versions of this, and perhaps if you've seen them, you're starting to see a bit of my personality. I am a little bit guarded. You're not seeing me freak out when my camera isn't working. I don't really get mad at people as much as I do at um, technology and things. And this computer is a piece of garbage, and there's been a lot of screaming lately. So this job that I spoke about earlier, the first thing I'm doing is buying a new damn computer. Um, so anyway, that's about all I have today. It's been a couple of days since I've talked, and this really does help me. So I'm gonna go, while my dad's out, I'm gonna go buy him a birthday cake, um, and we're probably gonna go out to dinner. Uh, so that's about all. If I don't do a post on Monday or so, I'll probably do it sometime in the week and let you know how the job went, or the job interview went, and leave it at that. under 20 minutes. All right. See you soon.